Jones.
And I'm Noah Jones.
And this is Tuesdays Today in History. The date is February 25th, and much has happened on this day in history. In 1308, Edward II was crowned King of England.
Hannah, did you know that on this day in 1570, Pope Pius issued the order to excommunicate the first Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth I?
Yeah, excommunication is a type of banishment that acts as a punishment handed out by a church when one of its members breaks some important church rule.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth responded to the Pope by hanging and burning Catholic and Jesuit priests.
Glad I didn't live back then. Anyways, on this day in 1728, Peter II was crowned as Tsar of Russia. A Tsar is another word for king.
Check this out. On this day in 1791, the first bank of the United States was chartered by the U.S. Congress and signed into existence by President George Washington. The official name of the bank is called the President Directors and Company of the Bank of the United States.
Yeah, kids, try to save your money so that one day you can open up a bank account. So in 1804, Thomas Jefferson was nominated for president at the Democratic-Republican caucus. He went on to become the third president of the United States.
Hannah, see how crazy this is? On this day in 1859, Daniel Slickler shot and killed the man his wife was having an affair with in broad daylight. The man was named Philip Barn Key. He was the son of Francis Scott Key, who wrote our national anthem, The Star-Spangled Banner.
Crazy, huh? Well, the future Secretary of the War, Edwin Stanton, represented Sickles in what would be the first successful use of the temporary insanity defense in the United States. Being innocent because of a mental disorder was nothing new, though. Exemption from full criminal punishment because of a mental defect dates back at least the Code of Hammurabi that was written in, get this, 1754 BC. That's close to 3,800 years ago.
Hiram Revels, a Republican senator from the state of Mississippi, was sworn into the first black member of Congress.
And on this day in 1901, the United States Steel Corp was founded by J.P. Morgan. My nanny's code word grandmother always called my dad J.P. Morgan, as he always talked of being rich one day as a kid.
This topic takes us down a sad road in history. On this day in 1932, the German state government of Brunswick, in which the Nazi Party participated, appointed Adolf Hitler of Austria to a minor administrative post. Hitler, who had renounced his Austrian citizenship in 1925, became a German citizen. His appointment as Chancellor on January 30th, 1933, less than a year later, marked a horrible turning point for Germany and the rest of the world. Thankfully, America and its allies were able to step in and turn the war around and defeat this horrible person. But it's just a reminder that in this world, we always have to deal with bad people. What's more important is we all want to try to be good. So why don't you try to be good today?
The year 1964. Wait, my dad was born in 1964, but this is not about him. In fact, on this day in 1964, Cassius Clay defeated Sonny Liston at the end of the 6th round in Miami to become heavyweight champion of the world. Cassius Clay is better known to the most as the Muhammad Ali.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Germany gave a $5 million ransom on this day in 1972 to Arab terrorists who had hijacked a jumbo jet.
In 1982, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that beating, another word for spanking, school children against their parents' wishes in violation of the Human Rights Convention. Britain was the last country in the Western European to ban spanking in the state schools in 1986.
During the Persian Gulf War on this day in 1991, an Iraqi Scud missile hit the U.S. barracks in Iran and killed 28 Americans.
We all know how wildly successful Apple's iTunes has been, but did you know that on this day in 2010, Apple announced that it had surpassed 10 billion song downloads from the iTunes store? Even more wild is that the 10 billion song was Guess Things Happen That Way by Johnny Cash.
I hear the train a-comin', coming around the bend. I hear the train a-comin' and I don't know when.
Here are some famous people from history with February 25th as their birthday.
The Impressionist artist Pierre-Auguste Renoir was born on this day in 1841.
George Harrison from the British group The Beatles was born on this day in 1943.
Well, actually not. In 1992, George Harrison told audiences during an interview that he only learned recently after all these years that the date of his time and his own birth had always been off by a calendar day and about a half an hour on the clock.
Harrison previously thought that his birthday was February 25th. His birth certificate indicates February 25th, but it was actually February 24th. He had been celebrating his birthday on the wrong day for almost 50 years. Wow!
I know. History is fascinating. So many things happen every day and have for thousands of years. You can discover more about history topics that you will find interesting by searching online or visiting your local library.
Please hit the like button at the bottom of the screen. It's what keeps us making these videos. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be among the first to know as the new videos are released.
In the famous words of President Theodore Roosevelt, the more you know about the past, the better prepared you are for the future.
Until next time, happy homeschooling.
Bye!
That hurt. Now it's time for famous birthdays on this day in history. Here are some famous people from history.